Hi, I'm Tom, and in this tutorial for FreeCAD I will show you how to create different types of roofs in FreeCAD BIM. I will show you how to create pyramid hip roof, gable roof, shed roof, hip roof, hexagonal gazebo roof, flat roof, and saltbox roof. We'll be using the roof tool for creating all of these, and I'm using FreeCAD 1.0. So let's get started, and I will unhide my pre-made basics of all of these houses. And if you want to follow along, you can download this file from my Ko-Fi shop for free. The link is in the description box below. So first we will create the most simple pyramid hip roof, and this building has a square footprint. So as a basis for the roof object, you can create a closed draft object, or you can use sketch. I will be using draft objects here. So I will turn on the rectangle tool. I have my snapping turned on, and I will click this point and this point. This means I created a rectangle. If I change the face to be on, it's not required. Now you can see the rectangle. To create roof out of this rectangle, I will select the rectangle and fire up the roof tool. This creates the roof object, but as you can see, the shape is not satisfactory. So I will zoom in here. And to change the shape, we will enter the roof edit mode. So either double click the roof object in the project tree, or right click and choose edit. This opens up the editing window where you have got 4 lines, because I've got 4 edges of my roof, and each line represents 1 edge. So if I change the run length here to, let's say, 500, I can see that this ID 0 is this line. So I think this one will be number 1. So let me check. Yes, this one will be number 2, and this one will be number 3. So I now know which one is which. And now I can set here the angle of the roof, the run length. That's basically the distance from this point to where the roof ends. Then I can set thickness of the roof and overhang. This is how much is overhanging over the basic rectangle. And this height is only calculated value. So to create the basic hip roof, I will now close the edit tool, and it's good to know how long the edge of the roof is. So I will select this edge and measure it, and I know it's 6,000. If I reset and select this one is also 6,000. So now if I go to the edit mode of the roof and I type in here to be run length half of the run, it will be just up to the middle, and this one will be also just up to the middle, and this one also just up to the middle, and this one also just up to the middle. And you can see that they cut each other, so they form such a nice shape. And here I have these overhangs. If I wanted to have them longer, I can change them to 250, and I have to do this now symmetrically for all of the edges. And you can see that this original roof has also bigger thickness. Thickness 50 is not that thick, so I will change the thickness to 200. And I want to change the thickness of all of the sides of the wall, so it doesn't create this strange shape. So I will change the thickness like so, and the basic most simple pyramid hip roof is created. Now let's move to the second type of roof, which is gable roof. This is also quite typical and simple shape. So let's create a gable roof. Again, as a basic footprint, I will create a rectangle. So I will click on this point, and this point. So this is the rectangle. And now I will create a roof from the rectangle. And again, the shape is the basic one that we know from the previous roof. And I will also measure again this line, and it's again 6,000 millimeters. So now I will go to the edit mode again, and now again I have to check which ID is connected to which edge. So I will just do like this check, and I can see it's this one. So I know that I want to have this run 3000 millimeters, this one 3000 millimeters. So these are the opposite sides, and here you can see that they are connected. I don't actually have to, if the roof is such simple, I don't actually have to measure it. If I did 4000 millimeters, it will just cut it by the second one. So at this point it's not important, but I want to get rid of this part of the roof. Now you could change the run to be 0, which actually works. So I will also do it on the other part, and I will change the thicknesses again to, let's say, 250, and I will change the overhang again. Let's type in overhang 300. So this looks nice, but what is typical on gable roof is that there is overhang in this direction also. And if I change the overhang here, it doesn't do anything. What I have to do to have this overhang possible here is to change the angle of this edge to be 90. When I change it to 90, I can set the overhang like so. So this is a bit of a hidden feature, and I will do the same with this one. So I will change the angle to 90, and overhang will be 500 millimeters. So now I've got the gable roof done. So I will close the creation of the gable roof. Now the last thing I want to do here is make these walls attached to the roof like here. How would I do that? What I need to do first is make the walls higher than the highest point of the roof. So I will select the wall, and in its properties I will change the height, let's say to 10,000 millimeters. It doesn't matter how high it is, just that it's higher than the highest point of the roof. And now I will select the roof, and with Control select the wall, and now I will use the arch remove tool. And now the roof is removed from the wall, so basically it's cutting the wall to the shape of the roof. So this is very useful tool. So now our gable roof is complete. Okay, let's get to another type of the roof, and it's the shed roof, which is a very simple roof. And let's say I would use angle 30. And again, here I will measure the length of the wall, which is again 6,000 millimeters. And I will start as previously with the rectangle tool. I will create a rectangle on the top here. Just to see the rectangle, I will make the face visible, so it's like this. And again, I will create roof from the rectangle. And now in the edit mode, back in the edit mode, I will change the length, so it's not this one. I guess it will be this one, so that we've got the same slope as this one. So this one I will change the angle to 90, and this angle to 90 and this angle to 90, so only this basically side is used. And I will change this angle to 30 and make the run length 6,000 millimeters, which is this far. Now if I made the run length longer, it works for me. So I will actually make the overhang on this side. I will make the overhang, let's say 200 or 300, and the run will be, this is 6,000 plus 300, so the overhang will be the same, so 6,300. And this is basically it. I will also change the thickness to 250, hit close, and now the roof is complete. But what I want to do again is to extend the walls to the roof. So I will select the walls and change the height to 10,000 millimeters. And now select the roof, with Control select the wall, and arch remove the roof from the wall. So now you can see that our simple shed roof is done. The next type of roof is this hip roof, which is also quite typical. So let's go ahead and create this one here. And first I will again measure. This one is 6,000 again, and this one is 12,000. So I've got the shape, the size, and again I will create a rectangle from this point to this point. Just make sure that you've got the snapping set as I do, so the rectangle is created at the top. Now I will create the roof, and again in the edit mode of the roof I will check which one is which one. So I will type in 3,000 here, which is actually correct, so this one will be also 3,000. Now let me also change the thicknesses to 250 for all of them. And now I will change the angle of this one to let's say 55. Oh, I could actually leave it as it was, 45, but I will change it like this and add again 3,000 and 3,000. And you can see again they are ended at the ridge. But here we can see for the first time the problematic part of the roof tool is that the height of the roof is actually created perpendicular to the face of the roof. So here there are different heights. If I change the angle to 45 for all of them, the angle would be right. So I will show you again in later roofs how you can basically try to work around this, but it's how the roof tool works as of FreeCAD 1.0. So now we have got this hip roof, which is also quite typical type of roof. Okay, so the next type of roof is hexagonal roof, which has 6 sizes, and this might be typical for a gazebo. Now to create this roof, we've got walls here, and I will actually measure this distance between this and this edge, which we will use, and this is basically 6,928.2 millimeters. So I will actually write it down into a calculator. So 6,928.2, and I will be using half of this, so I will divide it by 2, and I will copy this number and I will use it later. So now I will hit close, and to create the basic footprint of the roof I will use not the rectangle tool but the polygon tool. But first I will want to create a center of the polygon. So I will turn on the construction mode, create a line, and snap from this point to this point. And now I will turn off toggle mode again. So now I will draw real construction, and I will also turn on snap to the midpoint. And now I'm ready to create my rectangle, the hexagon. So I will fire up the polygon tool. And here the first thing I will do is change number of sides to 6. And I will actually create a filled polygon. And I will snap to the middle of this line and create, and you can see that I will click on this point. And now the polygon is created, and you can see by the face that it's basically the footprint of the walls. And I can turn off the construction group now because I don't need the line anymore. So now let me select the polygon and fire up the roof tool again. And you can see the basic roof shape. And again, I will go to the edit mode. I think I use different angles here, so I will type in 30. And this is a bit tedious. It's not possible to select all of them at once and type in the number. You have to go like this one by one. And let me also change let's leave the thickness to 50 and overhangs to 100. That's okay. But how would we do the runs? If I type in let's say 4000, like so, and I will type in also 4000 on the opposite one, it creates it almost well, but this is not what we want. Because if we did this, it would create a mess. So what we have to do is actually the run length has to be the exact size into the middle of the gazebo. And this is what I measured previously when I measured the distance between these two opposite lines and divided them by 2. So it's the number I saved in my clipboard. It's this number. So now I can go into the roof, and in the run number I can type in this number, and I will copy it again, hit enter, and I will type it in here, and also here, and also here, and to all of these values, because I want the shape of the roof to be symmetrical. Now you can see that the hexagonal gazebo roof is completed. So let's get to another common shape, which is flat roof. And for this one, actually, we will not be created a roof object. We will be using a slab object. So I will start as previously, and I will create a rectangle. And this time I will be snapping to the inner parts because I want to have just a footprint in the middle. And the roof needs to be recessed compared to the walls. So I will select the rectangle, and in the placement position in the z-axis I will make it a little bit lower, so 5700 millimeters should be fine. And now I will create a slab object. So this one is a slab object, but it's not a problem for us because here in the slab object what we can do is change the height of the object, which is basically the thickness of the wall. So if I wanted to have 300 millimeters, I would change the height. And what I should actually do is change the IFC type from slab to roof. So if someone opens this file, he or she will know that it's the roof, and the predefined is by default the flat roof. I can also rename the object in FreeCAD, so I know that it's a roof, and I can name it flat. So you can also create roofs like so. Now let's get to next shape of the roof, the last one, which is the Saltbox roof, which looks like this. It has one angle from this side and a different angle from this side, and the ridge of the roof is not above the middle of the wall. So how would we create such a roof? As you might expect, we will first start with the roof footprint, again with the rectangle. So I will create a rectangle like so. Now create roof out of the rectangle, edit the roof, and now I will check which edges which one, so I know that this one will have 90-degree and 90-degree angle, so the overhangs work. I can actually change the overhangs straight from the beginning. I will change all of them to 300. And now on this side I wanted to have a bigger slope, so I'll change the angle to, let's say, maybe, yeah, that should be okay. And on this side I will change the run to 4000. If I change it to 3000 millimeters, which would be middle, it actually does not meet each other. So I have to make this one more longer, so it makes it like so. And if I make it even more longer, I can actually make this angle a bit shallower, like so. Let's say make it 25. And if I make it again much more longer, so let's say 8000, they are joined here. So basically how you change the size is by using the different angles. But what you can see here again is that we have got the thickness problem here, where the ridge is joined together. So the only way around this that I know of using the roof tool is having the thickness of the roof different in both directions. So let's say this 70 I will leave to 50. This one I will change to 200. Now I will type in 55. I will just wing it. It's still too little. So 72, 75. I could actually calculate it, but I'm too lazy for that. So for our purpose, we will just make it like so. So let's say it's a bit of a workaround. You can see that these two should be actually the same thickness, but for now this will suffice. So now I will close the roof, and now again we will use the same technique to attach the walls to the roof. So I will select the wall object, change the height to 10,000 millimeters. Again, it's higher. Now I will select the roof with Control, select the wall, and use the arch remove object. And you can see that our Saltbox roof is complete. The last thing that I will show you is that you can basically create roof object from any other 3D object. You are not bound by the limitation of the roof tools. So if you create any 3D object, you can create a roof out of it. So I will create just a simple one, a rectangle, and I will extrude it, let's say 250. So I've got a simple extrusion, and if I select the extrusion and fire up the roof tool, the roof is created out of the extrusion, and I can still edit the extrusion or the original rectangle. So you are not limited by the limitation of this editing mode of the roof. So this is the end of the tutorial. With this knowledge, you should be able to create basic type of roofs such as pyramid roof, gable roof, shed roof, hip roof, hexagonal roof, flat roof, and Saltbox roof. If you want to support the future development of the roof tool, consider donating to the FreeCAD project. The link to the donate page is in the description box below. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.